This is a demo of a pivot table solution that I created for a client. First I'm going to show the data, and then I'll show a standard pivot table based on this data, and then I'll explain what the client was trying to achieve and what solution I came up with for the client. So this is a basic table in Microsoft Access that has zip codes, cities, and states, and it just happens to have longitude and latitude data also, which is not too relevant to this. Now I have appended the state to the city in the city field only for demonstration purposes, so that we can see that the solution that I created is actually working. So if we scroll down here beyond Alabama, you see that Arkansas is there with the city names as well. So here we have a plain pivot table. The file is called plain pivot, and we're in Excel 2007. We have the same data. We're linked to the Microsoft Access database, and on the state drop down we have a list of all the states, and as you probably know, in Excel 2007 you also have this option of selecting multiple items, so we could select just 3 states here, or American Samoa, California, and Colorado, that sort of thing. Now if I look here at the city drop down, you notice that I have Pennsylvania here on top, and Maryland, Virginia. We have every state possible, and that's just the normal behavior of Microsoft Excel pivot tables. If you have page fields like this, you're going to get every item in the city regardless of what you have selected in the state. So you probably can guess what the client wanted. He wanted this to be able to be a little bit more intuitive, that if I go ahead and choose American Samoa, California, and Colorado, that the cities that then show up are only belonging to that. And the client was willing to accept any solution, but he was hoping that it wouldn't be something that he would have to adjust or make alterations to if he needed to add more pivot tables to his workbook. And in fact, his workbook had 34 pivot tables, all pivoting off the same data. And so if I had added custom drop downs to the sheet, or custom code that was only reliant on certain pivot tables and certain sheets, then it would have broken if he would have removed a pivot table or added a pivot table. So I designed a solution that allowed him to have as many pivot tables as he wanted, and the code just dealt with the pivot tables however they were arranged. So this is the solution workbook. You notice it looks pretty much the same. I should say one thing here, and that is that the client was always, I had to design it in such a way that the top pivot item was called client, and all the pivot tables were based on what client was selected. So he wanted all the page fields to be filtered on the client, and of course my solution could be customized for other people, for other fields, and it could be more dynamic, but I made it hard coded because he assured me that it was always going to be client. So when one part of this, you'll see that that's sort of hard coded into the application. But at any rate, here we have our drop down. I'm going to go ahead and choose the same items that I chose in the other workbook. I'll choose California, Colorado, and American Samoa. And I'll choose OK. And one thing that this routine does is it colors it so that you immediately know it's filtered, because the thing is that once it's filtered and we only see these 3 items, then we can't get at the other states. So we have a solution to that as well. Now if I click on the city, we see that we have American Samoa, California, and there's Colorado. So that works. But then again, how do we get back to our full list of states? Well, I just have a right-click item here, and this is where it's custom to that client. It says show all clients, where it should say show all states. But I select that, and the filter coloring goes away, and all my states are there. So that's my solution for this client. And if you would like to have a similar functionality in your pivot tables, please give me a call or email or contact me. I'd love to hear from you.